Okie dokie. So this video is, well, it's especially for one of my favourite strongmen of all time, and that is the Highland Oak, Spicy Luke Stoltman. After watching one of his videos where he mentioned that he has poor wrist mobility or range of motion. Okay, so let's go. I'll give you a couple of quick things here, guys. First of all, as I've mentioned before, forward flexion-based society is where so many of our problems come from, all right? And the hands are one of the ones that suffers the worst, especially because, mobile phones, stuff like that. It could be lifting, it could be working on a computer, digging holes, building wall, everything is forward flexion, all right? So a big part of what we need to do for our health and especially our structural health is offset some of that. So anyway, on to the wrists. So one of the biggest problems is the thumb. Obviously the thumb is the kind of prime suspect when it comes to grip and again using phones, stuff like that. All right, so we'll give you the first one. Let me just tilt this down a little bit. There's a little one for the floor. All right, so again, we really want to think about the thumb, but we're not forgetting the rest of the fingers and of course all the four tendons in the forearm and the wrist. So the way we basically do this is I sit on the floor like this, toes together, knees apart, all right, and I can just place my hand comfortably down in front of me, all right. Now, depending on how immobile your wrists are, you'll have to start just with your fingers facing to the front. But the way we engage it to begin with is these two fingers, all right. And all I'm doing is, I'll show you it this way, is first of all, I press those into the floor and I open that up as wide as I can, and then I move through the other fingers, press, 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 let me just turn, press, 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 boom, until the whole hand is flat on the floor and we've got a nice wide spread across the fingers, okie dokie. And then what I want to do is lock my shoulder down, rotate my elbow. You see that? Elbow pit facing forward, all right? And from there we can just lean into it. This is a nice simple way. The other way I like to do it is move out to the thumb, round to the index finger, through the middle finger, ring finger, pinky, okay? And you can take your time in each position. And even see if you just circle like that, you will feel that circle move through your fingers, your fingertips, okay? So you can do that as well, what we call greasing the groove, just don't forget to release tension with the breath, all right? So shoulder down, armpit forward, or elbow pit forward, all right? Now what we really want to be able to do is turn. So we externally rotate, we don't internally rotate, we externally rotate, and we just do the same thing, like this. And once again, same, shoulder locked down, elbow pit rotated, externally rotated, locking the shoulder down, all right? And you can do it one at a time, especially if one's worse than the other, but what we generally want to try to be doing is both at the same time. My left is actually a bit tighter just now. And then from there, we can do the same thing, over through the thumb, move through the fingers, make sure the heel of your hand isn't lifting up for this. There are lots of adjustments and advancements we can do, but for now, that's good enough, all right? If your shoulders are popping up, then you want to come forward so that you can lock them down, okay? And then you can start to sit back into it, all right? But if you have to start like this because your wrists are that immobile, that's absolutely fine. We start at the level that works for us, that we can work with and improve upon. That's super important. All right, so the next one we don't have to do in the floor. This is one I like to do, and this is really focused on the thumb and the saddle joint. The thumb isn't a ball and socket, it's a saddle. So really it does this and it does this. It seems like you can kind of circle it, but it doesn't really circle because of the type of joint it is. It's like the ankle in that sense. They're both saddle joints, as they're called, but I digress. So the way we want to do this is we make a gun, all right? Pew, pew. We push our thumbs together. We keep that pressure with our thumbs. I'll turn my wrists like this so you can see. And all I'm doing is I'm keeping this gap as closed as I can here, this gap here. And then I'm wanting to move the thumb through as big a range of motion as I can. All right. So we've got the pressure on the thumb here, and then the mobility of that saddle joint, like so. And I want to keep this gap here closed the whole time. If that's coming apart, then we're not doing what we need to be doing. So however far you can manage to begin with, if I can only go to here with that closed, that's fine. We just breathe in, breathe out, and then with time, we'll be able to keep that gap closed and open up fully. You see that? Now, just to mention, I, in my early 20s, started to develop arthritis because of so much. I mean, literally, my hands used to be in this position, but that was mostly from martial arts and just being such a nerd when it came to wanting to be able to hit as hard as I possibly can. All right, so I started to develop that, and that was one of my first inroads to doing this kind of recovery work, along with blowing my back out and fusing a disc. But you know, I've discussed that in my spine videos. If you haven't watched them, go and watch them, guys. I speak from experience, not just book knowledge. All right, so that's your two. The floor one, and this one's always a good one. Just to keep that mobility and that range in the thumb so that it doesn't seize up, it doesn't start to go, get witchy fingers. All right, so that is this video, 6-7 minutes long. And again, a dedication to Spicy Luke Stoltman. And on that note, I'm going to say, stay safe, smile, and stay spicy. Take care, guys. Peace and love.